I am selling the Robalo and leaving the Florida boat life. But I have an absolutely crazy adventure coming up. I'm trying to downsize to a little bit smaller of a boat that's easier to tow, and I want to take it from Key West all the way to Washington. I want to go all over the United States, dropping it at all of the cool lakes and rivers along the way, and exploring what the United States has to offer. I have a very rough idea of where I'm going to be going through the country, probably from Key West up towards Pittsburgh, my hometown, and then from Pittsburgh, zigzag across the country all the way over to the Northwest. Once I get it a little bit more fine-tuned, I'm going to be posting a map constantly, and if you guys live anywhere along the map and want to come out, meet up with me, if you have a boat, if you have a cool lake or river, a place that you recommend, drop it in the comments. I'll try to meet up with you guys. I think it'd be a really cool way to meet you guys. So drop some comments, suggestions, what you want to see me do with a new boat, where you want to see me go. But as far as the reasons for why I'm leaving Florida, the main one is housing and dockage. We did have a 5-bedroom house that we were all splitting. We had space outside to park boats. I had space to work on my boat every day, clean it, access to water to flush the engines. We were only located about 15 minutes away from numerous boat ramps, so everything was so nice. But my brother-in-law and my sister moved back to Pennsylvania. My other friend moved out to Fort Lauderdale, so that left only me, and I can't pay for a 5-bedroom house by myself. I started looking for other options, and I literally just could not find anything that was even remotely feasible. And finding anything with a dock was just impossible. It was gonna cost me way too much money. I just couldn't afford housing for myself and my boat down here. So my plan is to do this trip, return to Miami in the fall, like early winter. And I wanna buy a house down here, somewhere where I can have space. But as far as renting, I couldn't bring myself to be paying $4,000, $5,000 a month by myself just so I can have space for me and my boat. All the places I was looking for were like a tiny little efficiency with not even a kitchen. And I can't live like that, even though I did live in a bus and an ambulance for 6 years. So we're doing the trip, Key West to the Pacific Northwest, coming back, hopefully getting some property here, and hopefully I'm able to buy a house here, have space for a boat, have space to maybe have more than one boat, who knows? One of the other reasons is that it's early summer right now. All winter I haven't really had a problem going to the ramps, but now that it's early summer, I've gone to ramps numerous times and they're completely full. The police block the gates. They don't even allow you to go in and park, and you don't know until you get to the ramp. So then I'm running all over Miami, which is the worst traffic ever. And I'm trailering a big boat, looking for parking everywhere. It's just been getting insane down here. I need a spot where I have my own docks and where I can just hop on the boat and go. Trailering it to ramps that are closed, it's just awful. There's many other reasons. I'm not gonna get into all of them. Those are the two main ones. But I'm also super freaking excited to explore the entire country, all of the coolest places that I've ever wanted to go with a boat. There's been so many times I've traveled and just seen lakes and rivers and wished I had a boat with me. So this is just a dream of mine to be able to go do this. But the first things first, we gotta go sell the Robalo. The day has come. It is time to deliver the old trusty Robalo to her new rightful owner. We're on our way right now. We're actually leaving the Keys. We were down here boating and heading up to the guy's house. I'm not even really sure where it is. He just sent me his address. I'm not familiar with a lot of Southern Florida still, but he doesn't have a truck to tow it yet, and it made more sense for me to deliver it instead of him having to drive all the way out to Hollywood or Fort Lauderdale to pick it up. So we're heading there now. We got about an hour drive north, and we're gonna drop this boat off. Very, very sad day, but also it's exciting too. A lot more to come. All right, I just backed up the boat here. Freaking, I'm a master trailer backer upper. That was not bad. I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of that one. But this is Rob. He's the new owner of the boat,
right,
and
come see me. I'll be over in Key Largo.
There we go. He's gonna have it in Key Largo a bunch, and the boat's staying local to Southern Florida, so I'm glad. Hopefully I'll be able to meet up with him when I get my next boat. Congrats, man.
You're the man.
Pleasure doing business with you, and once I get back from my next trip and pick up a new boat, I'll let you know, and we gotta meet up. It'd be cool to have both the boats together. We're gonna convince him to come down we gotta get Johnny to come down from Jupiter and West Palm with his boat.
We'll make it happen. After today, I'll definitely be back there.
All right, well, boat is gone, and it's on to the next chapter of the YouTube channel. All right, we're out of here. Take care.
Take care.
I'll see you when I get back from Utah.
All right, man.
All right, I'll see you. And just like that, Robalo is gone. Sad, sad day. All right, at this point in the video, the Robalo is sold, and it was immediately on to searching for the next boat. My plan was to get a little bit smaller of a boat, a center console, something that's a little bit more versatile, a lot more lightweight. That's the number one thing. A lot lighter and easier for my truck to tow. That's the number one mission right there. And I found a boat on Boat Trader. I lowballed them like crazy, and they actually accepted my offer. So I went out to go check out a 2007 Edgewater 228cc with a 2007 Yamaha 250 4-stroke. The boat was immaculate. It was owned by a guy that was in his 80s. He never really used it. It only had 140 hours on the engine, which is almost a bad thing if it sat for that long and didn't really get used that much. It's not great for an engine to sit that long. The boat's basically just been sitting in dry storage forever. So I had them pull it out, drop it in the water. The broker and I went out for a test drive. It was absolutely incredible. I was falling in love with the boat immediately. Everything was coming together. Everything was perfect. We even found dolphins that were swimming right next to the boat. I figured that was a sign, and I was like, you know what? This is the boat for me. I'm pulling the trigger on this thing. I cannot freaking wait. Test drive goes good. We come back to the dock and the marina was closed, so they weren't able to pull it back out of the water. And I was expecting to pull the oil on the lower unit and also just check the whole entire hull. Wasn't able to do that, so I had to drive 2 hours back home. Home being my friend's house that I'm staying at the moment because I don't have a house. Drove 2 hours back the next morning. I did a compression test on the engine, came back perfect, and then I pulled the lower unit oil and there was metal shavings all through it and it did not look good. I also found some damage to the keel of the boat, so unfortunately I had to back out of the deal, even though I loved that boat so much. It also didn't have a trailer, so that was another big ticket item that was just such a pain to have to go try to find a trailer, match it to the boat, and it was just like a logistical nightmare. So I pulled out of that boat, and then I found what I thought was a really new Robalo, because it was redone from the top to the bottom. The hull, every single thing on this boat was absolutely brand new and done really freaking well. But when I got there, I found out it was actually a 1972 that had been redone, which is great, but I thought the boat was a lot newer. Everything was listed as 2022 on the listing, and then I got there, found out it's almost a 50-year-old freaking boat, which is fine. Everything was done really well. The trailer was nice. Every single thing on the boat looked great. It had twin 140 Suzukis with around 200 hours or something. I don't remember exactly. Took it out for the test drive, and it was actually surprisingly very slow. It had like no power for having twin 140s. I really liked the boat, but I don't know. It felt like it rode really weird. Like the motors weren't properly adjusted height-wise or something. And then I was looking down inside the compartments in the floor, and there was really sketchy looking fiberglass work. So that kind of made me sketched out on who did all that work, because it's a pretty serious job. And also he wouldn't come down on the price at all after the sea trial, and ended up selling it to another guy the very next day. I made a post on my YouTube channel. If anyone had a boat with these criteria that was willing to sell it, to message me, and I had a bunch of you guys that reached out. Thank every one of you guys that reached out. It was amazing. I ended up driving 4 to 4.5 hours all the way up to Daytona Beach. Met up with a guy. He didn't want to be on camera, so I'm gonna respect his privacy, but if you're watching this, thank you so much for reaching out, because the Grady White was absolutely perfect. We went out, did a test drive on the Grady White. It's a little bit bigger than I had hoped it was gonna be, but it's a 2000 Grady White 226 Seafair. We agreed on a price, pulled the trigger immediately. He did tell me there was issues with the trailer. He was very upfront about every single thing on the boat. I accepted that the trailer was not in great condition and still decided that, you know what, I need to take this boat home with me right now. I cannot wait and drive 4 hours back, 4 hours back again, and then 4 hours home. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take it. I'll take the risk. I was driving on 3 tires on this dual axle trailer. One was not touching the ground. And I said, screw this. I'm taking this boat. It's perfect. We gotta go. So we got a freaking Grady White, baby. Let's go. This thing's an absolute unit. Freaking love this thing. But this tire, I'm very, very worried about this. This one's obviously taking all the weight. That one's barely even touching the ground, but I'm just like keeping an eye on this one. I keep taking breaks. I'm trying to stop every like 30 miles or so and just make sure that this tire's not overheating, because if it explodes, I can't have that happen. Definitely got to get a new axle in this thing. I think that's what I got to do. Also, I got to do some work to this trailer. The trailer's not in good shape, but the boat is beautiful. All right, I've been trailering this thing back for about an hour and a half now, and I still got another 2 hours to go. Some guy came up behind me aggressively flashing his lights, and then he cut in front of me, and then he put his 4-ways on, then literally was like trying to lead me off the side of the road. So I followed him. I knew I didn't have any trailer lights, and it's terrible to be doing this at nighttime, but I gotta do what I gotta do. He was like, I came right up behind you and didn't see you at all. He's like, you need to do something, go buy reflectors or something. So my solution was, I found out this thing has underwater lights, so I turned the underwater lights on. Been told those are not good to turn on when it's not underwater, because they can overheat. I'm not sure. And then I turned on blue lights that I found in there, which is amazing, because now I know that I don't have to install blue lights. That was something that I was gonna do. I turned on that cabin light there. These spreader lights right there were way too bright. I didn't want to be blinding everybody behind me. I feel like it's a lot easier to see that now. So people should be able to see me coming, or they should be able to see me when they're coming up behind me. Problem solved for now. Hope we don't get pulled over. 2 more hours to go. All right, we freaking made it. 16-hour day of driving all over Florida, looking at boats, finally buying a boat, but I'm exhausted. So freaking exhausted, but we finally got back. I'm at Ellie's house temporarily. She literally doesn't even know I'm here. So, she knows I'm staying at the house, but she doesn't know that I bought a boat and took up her entire driveway. She's out on a Red Bull shoot for a day or two, hoping that I only need it here for like a day until I can find out my parking situation, and then I'll get it down, I think in Hollywood, Miami, I don't know, somewhere. But I should only be here for like literally tonight, maybe tomorrow, before I figure out where I'm actually gonna store this thing, because I have nowhere to live at the moment. But I should angle it in here. It's a very freaking tight fit. Still enough room for Ellie to park her car, and then I'm parked over yonder. Finally time to get some sleep. All right, the rain was not cooperating yesterday, but let me give you a full tour of the new whip. I've always wanted a Grady White. They're like one of the top of the line brands. Everything they use is premium quality, and then paired with, a nice new Suzuki. Here she is. She is a 2000 Grady White Seafarer 226. Seafarer also made a 228, I think it was called, and it was just a little bit bigger than this one, but this is the 226. It looks almost identical to my Robalo, just a smaller, more compressed down version and a lot lighter. The trailer is in rough shape. We're gonna get that taken care of soon, but I knew that going into it. We got the hard top. That's something that I really wanted to have. On the Robalo, I did not have a swim step, so this will be so nice being able to get back in and out of the boat. Love being able to have this thing here. We have trim tabs, they work. We have 2 transducers because we have 2 different Garmin's up top. And we have the 2021 Suzuki 250. Only 93 freaking hours on this thing. She is a beaut. We're gonna be doing a full service on this and getting it prepped, ready to go. Just because it is 5 years old, even though it only has 93 hours. It didn't get a ton of use, but it's still good. They say to do the service every 1 year or every 100 hours. So definitely gonna do a service on this baby. Let's hop inside. Just a little scattered around right now. I was just mind blown how giant this cockpit area is. Somehow it literally feels bigger than the Robalo, and the Robalo was a 24-footer, weighed way more than this and was way bigger overall, but I don't know how. Somehow in a 22-footer they made this space enormous. This boat feels a lot bigger than a 22-footer. Another one of my favorite things is it actually has seating. My Robalo didn't have any sort of seating in the back, so we actually have 2 seats there. We've got the trim tab set up, fuel filter. Down in here we have 2 Dakota lithium batteries, 160 amp, 120 amp battery charger in there as well. We got speakers in the back. This little wall flips up and kind of blocks that area off. We got blue lights all throughout. We got spreader lights up top. I like these little cup holders. They're just kind of clamped onto the bars there. I thought that's a cool idea. These compartments are huge. They actually go all the way down into there. Extra storage underneath the seats. All the cushions are in good shape. Just a couple little rust stains, but they look pretty freaking good. I'm just replacing some legal stuff like the fire extinguisher and whatnot. All newly wired switches. Every single thing works except for the horn. It's the only thing that doesn't work. We got the nice Suzuki gauges there. We have a Fusion radio. We got the Garmin. It's a 94 SV. It's a touchscreen. Does everything you need it to do. I'm not sure if this one was just here before or what, but this is like more of like a base model fish finder or whatnot, but it's good to have redundancy. Got a little phone mount holder. That's something simple that just stuck on there, but that's something that I always struggled with on the Robalo. I never had a place to put my phone. My phone was always bouncing around, overheating from being in the sun, and a pain. Shipshore radio up top, still a little bit of a storage box like the Robalo had. Not as big as the Robalos, obviously, but the hard top is in beautiful condition. I love it. I'm debating on maybe adding tower speakers, but I kind of like that I'm able to just buy this boat and enjoy it. It's crazy. Normally I buy a boat and I gotta do all the upgrades myself, but this one has pretty much everything I wanted and needed. And this is where obviously the biggest difference is. This is the cabin. Mine had a big sink set up here with a fridge and then a toilet over here. This actually does have a little sink, but I don't ever plan on using that. There's this filler cushion, so you can take that out and then sit all the way around in there. It's pretty spacious. One issue is that don't know where this cushion is. Non-existent at the moment. So I might just have to take some measurements, cut out a piece of wood and make my own, because I am gonna be sleeping in this thing a lot whenever we're traveling all over the freaking country in this thing. I'm gonna be crashing in here. And for a 22-footer, my feet are touching the wall there, and I still have, that much space behind my head. So you can easily sleep 2 people in here. You could cram 3 if you really had to. Whoever installed this radio definitely had OCD. They did an amazing job on all the wiring. Big props to whoever did that wiring, because I know how that job is and it takes some time. It's very tedious and they did an excellent job. Let's walk up to the front. You see the hard top. Beautiful. We still got a little platform to jump off of when we need to. They do make little cushions for right here. The guy didn't have them, but not a big deal. He could still sit there if he needed to, but kind of got 2 little seats up here. Oh, this I need to move. We have another anchor in there. I'm gonna have to find another spot for that. But 2 anchors, which is great. Found out with the Robalo that there's a lot more times than not that you need 2 anchors, especially when you're pulling up to a beach. You beach the boat, put the anchor in the sand, and then your back end might be swinging around, and that way you can just drop another anchor off the stern. Some of the things I've been learning being down here, but every light, every switch, every single thing minus the horn all works. The windshield wiper even works and actually does a good job. So I am incredibly pumped on this freaking boat. But I gotta get the axle replaced on the trailer. That's something that I gotta get taken care of immediately. 100-hour service on this motor, also immediately need to do that before I take this thing out. I wanna make sure everything's gone over. I like to know when I buy a boat, I know exactly where we're starting from. But I cannot express how excited I am to take this boat all over the United States. It's gonna be an absolutely insane journey. Starting from Key West, making it all the way up to possibly Pittsburgh, my hometown, and then over to the West Coast, or maybe straight from Key West to Seattle. I'm not sure of the route completely yet, but whenever I have a better idea, I'm gonna post it on YouTube. I'll be telling you guys here as well. And if any of you guys are along that route, wanna come meet up, if you guys have a boat, have a cool lake, a cool river, a cool spot you wanna show me, or if you just wanna come out, message me, drop some comments below, let me know where you're at. I'm not gonna be able to make it to every corner of the US. I'm gonna be going pretty quick. Well, I'm at least gonna be trying to go pretty quick. But I'd love to meet up with some of you guys along the way. I think it's such a cool opportunity to be able to take a boat like this across the country. I'm so thankful for all of you guys. I'm thankful for YouTube. I'm thankful for my life and everything right now. Being able to take a boat like this, and you know, this is technically my job. I do this full time. Incredibly grateful. Super, super grateful. So I've mentioned it in the past before that I'd love to take some subscribers out on a trip. And now I'm thinking that maybe you guys can just come out and meet up with me along the way. If it works out, be amazing. But yeah, if you guys know some spots, drop them in the comments below. Some places that you wanna see me take the boat, some things you wanna see me do with the boat. We're definitely gonna be doing some camping in this baby. So there's a lot to come here, but it is getting incredibly hot in Florida. I'm technically homeless. Just a friend's house, taking up her entire driveway with my truck and the boat. And this is like kind of a nice area, so I feel like the neighbors probably don't like me working on the boat and stuff like that. But thank you guys. Stay tuned for the adventure from Key West out to Seattle, maybe to Canada, who knows. But I'll see you guys for the next video. But we're gonna prep this boat and get it ready to take out on a test drive and make sure everything's dialed in before we hit the road, because we got a lot of freaking miles to cover. But I'm sweating literally just talking to a camera. It is so humid and so hot down here. So I'll catch you guys for the next video. Peace out, guys. Oh, and subscribe. And if you made it this deep into the video, I need help coming up with a name for this trip, like Key West to the Pacific Northwest. That's too long, but that's just like an idea of kind of what I need something that's easy to say for YouTube. I don't know, like it's a boat road trip. I don't know, I need like something cool and creative. Just drop some comments down below of like a cool name that you guys think of for this trip. If you have any ideas, I'm all ears, because I'm struggling here with a name. But I appreciate you all. I'll see ya.